Hello, my name is Todd McLaughlin, and I'm here at Native Yoga Center in beautiful Juno Beach, Florida. And today I'm going to show you some tips on how to jump in Ashtanga, how to jump through. In the vinyasas of Ashtanga Yoga, we are able to jump into position, and then there's what's called a jump back. Today I'm going to focus on just the jump through and give you techniques for very beginning. If you're new to yoga, how you can implement the jump through, and I'll give you step-by-step progression to working in the direction of jumping into some semblance of a handstand and coming through into the seated position. If you're watching on YouTube, remember to hit the subscribe button, leave a comment. We appreciate it. All right, so the jump through. We use this movement so many times in the Ashtanga Yoga practice, and it's quite fun. It can be done so simple. It does not have to be one of the most difficult things ever. It also can be made one of the most difficult things ever, and then we can potentially turn something that seems really difficult into something that feels, I want to say effortless, because it always requires a little bit of effort, but fluid. All right, so downward dog. What we're breaking down is the ability to jump and come through to a seated position. So when I really think of a beginner in yoga, if you're new to yoga, you're a beginner to Ashtanga Yoga, that means so much. There's so much variety within just the beginner element. So if I break it down way to the beginning here, you might be holding your down dog like this. You might be holding child's pose for your down dog. So one of the simplest ways to come into a jump through like position is to simply come from child's pose, walk your knees towards your hands, move the hand that you're going to lean to so you can easily sit, swivel your legs around, and that's it. Pretty simple. So let me show you from the other side. If you choose to go to the right, perhaps whether you're in down dog or on your hands and knees, you can come down. I'm going to move my right hand over so I can swivel. Ha, that didn't go exactly as I'd planned. Let me try that again. So if I want to go over to the right, I come to down dog. I come down on my knees. I swivel my legs around, come to seated. So easy, nice and chill, not too difficult. Most people can do that. And there's an even more beginning level that we could break down. In some instances, we're coaching to not jump because of wrist and shoulder issues. So you might choose to hold here through the vinyasa and then just come right back to seated. All right, so the next challenge then is if I want to start to come from down dog and slow this process down, one technique is to take one foot and walk it forward, kind of like you're going into pigeon, or I should be more specific, into Ekapada Raja Kapotasana, which is this one here, which sometimes is called pigeon prep, because the next expression of it turns into a one-leg king pigeon, but that's probably TMI. All right, so take your one foot forward, take your other foot forward into a cross position, sit, and bring your both legs forward. So let me demonstrate that again. This is one way that you can start to begin the jumping process. I'm going to take the opposite leg. I'll bring one foot forward, across, sit, rock back, legs forward, and you're seated. All right, now another step in that process. You come into a downward dog. Now what I'm going to try to do is take a jump and land with my legs crossed, come down, sit, legs together. Let me show that to you again. Because the step from what we did before that was step one foot, the other foot, come down. And so the next phase is to start to jump into the both feet cross and come down and come forward. So that's one way to kind of get the progression going. The next step in the progression, now I'm going to try to get from the down dog to the seated without lifting my hands. So it goes like this. Whether I step or jump, let me demonstrate it from the step style first. I step 1, step 2, do not lift the hands. Wiggle the feet through in an arm balance. Notice my elbows are locked out. You can bend them a little bit, but try to keep your hips off the ground. Whatever leg is in front, forward, forward, down. Way harder. Already my heart's racing, right? Doesn't take much to make this challenging. That's for certain. So again, if I do it from the jump style, I'm in down dog. I'm going to jump. I'm not going to lift my hands. I got to get my feet through the arms. Once you get the feet forward of the hands, one foot, other foot, sit. Simple. All right. So let's try that again. Let me show you again. So I'm going to jump. Now the key is, notice how I jumped. When I jumped, I tried to get my feet through the hands as far as possible. Because watch the difference between these two ways to jump through. Two ways, they look the same, and train your eyes, focus. Then, practice alongside the video, or just remember all this and give it a shot when you're on your mat next. Ready? All right, this time I'm going to jump, but my feet land behind my hands. So I got to shimmy, straighten, sit. Watch this one. My feet are going to land a little through the hands, just a tiny bit, not too far. Watch. I'm going to jump. I land through. One foot, sit. And that way, that eliminated me needing to shuffle to get legs forward. So this is a way that you can, that's one way you can do. All right. Now, next up, now the trick, and this is where things get way different, because what we're trying to do essentially is jump up into a handstand. And some people jump up into a full handstand, but there's really no need to go that high. The main idea is to try to jump to get the hips up as high as possible, the legs to cross, and then lower the legs through. And that requires a lot more upper body coordination, core engagement. Bandha, that's the yoga word for seal, to connect. And so the bandhas often reference, try to squeeze your abdominal core. I'm in down dog. The way to start to learn this is to start a little bunny hop. And the key to the bunny hop is you got to keep your arms stiff. You don't want to bunny hop and let your arms give out. You got to stiffen this part. So you're going to really try to just boom, straight out. Lock, elbows, triceps brachii, connects across the acromion process, contracts, dunk, elbows are straight. All right, so because the legs, think of your legs are a spring. I have heels up, knees bent. I rock back to get momentum. I'm going to push, my elbows are locking, and I go up, up, up. That's key. Now, the scary thing, usually for most people, is they go up, and then they feel like they're going to hit their head on the floor. So, and I've seen it happen. So, it could happen, especially if you don't have enough upper body strength. So I believe that if you work the previous methods that I've been showing you long enough with enough focus, that's going to get your arms strong, your core engaged, and you'll have enough strength. So sometimes people say, oh, I got to go to the gym. and I got to start lifting weights so I can get really strong so I can do my jumps. I mean, maybe, but I kind of think no, actually through the practice, you're going to develop this. So with that being said, I got a little safety net. If I hit my head, so what? There's a blanket there. I mean, please exercise caution. Don't hurt yourself. Be careful trying these techniques. Consult with a physician. This is only ideas. I'm not telling you what to do. Okay, so I jump. I'm trying to get like a little donkey kick. I mean, I don't know if that's the best way to describe it, but what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to kick my own butt. When you jump, you spring, you come up, you kick your butt, you bring your feet down. You lean back, you jump, you kick your butt, you come down. And so that's the kind of the key, because eventually you can start to do that more and more, and you can land up on your hands and you can start to balance. And this takes a lot of time and a lot of practice to be able to get up into the handstand. And so I don't expect that from watching this video. You're going to like, boom, jump up and I got this. I mean, one way to really start to work this is being able to jump up and have a wall there so you can touch the wall and you can start to develop your handstanding from having support behind you. And little by little, you start to take one foot and the other foot off of the wall. And that's how you start cultivating the strength to be able to balance. And there's so much work we can do here. There's so much to break down, how to work with the hands, how to work with the wrists. I'll save that for another tutorial. Right now, I just want to focus on some of the key components to the jump. So now I'm not worried about hitting my head anymore. I remove my blanket, my binky, my safety net. All right. So now what I'm going to try to do is when I go up, I'm going to jump, cross my legs, and just try to get them to come through with crossed legs. And that one I didn't try to control it much. I just went up and just sweep it through. Now, one good thing about having a rug on the floor is that when my feet hit the ground, they slid. If I do that on the sticky mat and my feet hit, boom, you get stuck. So I like to have some type of Mysore style practice rug on top of my yoga mat. You can just use a towel, just go get a bath towel. Something that your foot can just slide across without getting stuck. The other thing I'd be really careful about is do not catch your toe on the floor. Like you can't come in and stub your toe. You got to have your feet in a position where they're pointed. So you got to have your feet pointed when they're crossed. So when you come across, you're going to come across the top of your foot. Don't have your toes back. Plantar flex ankle, flex toes, sweep through. All right, and then it's just fun. At this point, it's really just about the joy of the yoga and learning control over your body, in my opinion. Day after day, practice, 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 simple as that. So there's no magic involved. It's practice. So you jump, you cross your legs, sweep them forward. Now notice I lifted my hands and my feet were in the air before my butt touched my hips, sorry. So let me try it again and see if I can control I'm saying the exit, but it's an entry, but the end of the entry. I'm going to try to control the end of the entry. Here we go. I'm in my down dog. I've worked up. I'm going to start with my feet together. Got spring. I'm going to jump up, make my half handstand, cross my legs, slowly come down, bring my feet all the way forward, heels touch, hips touch. I'm ready for the next pose. So that's the progression. That's one progression. There are many progressions, but I found that progression works if you work it. Put the time in, break it down, and see how you go. And send me a comment. Do you like this? Does it work? Did you get any benefit? Am I way out of the league of what you're focused on? Don't worry, go to my YouTube channel, Native Yoga Center, at Native Yoga. It's Native Yoga Center, YouTube, type it in, hit subscribe. Got a whole bunch of videos on there, from the easiest of yoga, gentle yoga, restorative yoga, therapeutic yoga, up into the realm of, I covered all the Ashtanga poses on there, breaking it down pose by pose, step by step. Got a whole bunch of information on there for you. Remember, check us out on our website, nativeyogacenter.com. Every single Friday, I release Native Yoga Toddcast. I'm almost up to episode 200 for the new year, 2025. Episode 200. I'm so stoked. There's so much information that you can absorb through listening to conversation with other yoga professionals around the world. And my new course, 8 and 8. I break down the Ashtanga fundamentals, the sun salutation, the fundamentals, and the new course that I have available for you, completely free, no strings attached. You just got to give your email. That's how I send you the code. That's all you got to do. Sign up. Boom. You're in. All right. I hope this helps. If you have any questions, send me a message, a note, info@nativeyogacenter.com, and I'll happily answer. Have a wonderful day.